If I knew the truth that waited for us that night, I would have locked the door and kept my uncle far away from our lives. But life doesn't warn you before it changes everything. That evening, the air was heavy. The moon hid behind thick clouds as if the sky itself was scared. I sat outside, my heart beating fast, staring at a torn letter in my hands, the letter that said, my uncle was coming home from prison. No one wanted him back. Not my uncles. Not my aunties. Not even the village chief. They all called him the same name. Animal. They forgot he once had dreams. They forgot he once had a brother, my father. When I showed my mother the letter, she pressed it against her chest like it was a knife. He is my husband's blood, she said with trembling lips. If we don't accept him, who will? Everyone warned us. Reject him before his shame becomes yours. But my mother was a woman who had suffered more than enough in one lifetime. She had already buried her husband, my father, with her own hands. Her tears had already dried so many times, even crying became a luxury. So that night, when we heard footsteps at the gate, she stood up immediately. The gate creaked open slowly. There he stood. Thin. Dusty. Eyes sunken like someone who lived in the dark for many years. A torn backpack hugged his shoulder. His lips trembled before he spoke. Sister. My mother didn't let him finish. She ran to him and hugged him so tight, as if she wanted to protect him from all the eyes that hated him. Welcome home, she whispered. I stood frozen. This man, this stranger, was now part of our home. That night, he slept in my father's old room. The room no one entered. The room that still smelled like memories. My mother stood outside his door for a long time, breathing slowly. I knew she was thinking of all the things life had stolen. But maybe something had finally returned. The village whispers. By morning, the whole village already knew. Children pointed fingers. Women talked as if their tongues were knives. Men shook their heads with disgust. Why welcome a criminal? Your husband would be ashamed. My mother smiled politely. But at night, she cried silently into her pillow. My uncle ignored every insult. Every afternoon, he worked like someone who owed the world his life. Fixing the fence. Sweeping the yard. Cutting tall grasses. Rebuilding the broken chicken house. Repainting windows. One day, I saw him alone behind the house, planting a tiny seed. Uncle, what are you planting? I asked. He smiled, a small, painful smile. What I plant today will feed good hearts tomorrow. I didn't understand. How could a tiny plant fix the deep wounds carved into our lives? Then life struck again. I lost my job. My mother fell deeply sick. Her chest sounded like she was trying to breathe through stones. Hospital bills piled up like mountains. I tried to borrow money, but doors slammed in my face. Relatives that used to brag about family unity turned away when they saw me coming. We started eating once a day. Then once every 2 days. One night, I sat outside in the dark, shaking, thinking of selling our house. The only thing my father left for us. My uncle came and sat beside me quietly. After minutes of silence, he spoke. When your father died, your mother was the only one who saw me as human. Now, it is my turn. He stood up. Tomorrow morning, you will follow me. Don't ask questions. His tone was calm, but his eyes held a secret. A secret that scared me. Morning arrived before my fear was ready. My uncle waited by his old rusty car. The engine coughed loudly, like a sick animal. But it moved. The road stretched out like a snake through the mountains. Tall trees surrounded us. Birds watched like silent witnesses. After hours, we reached a hidden land. Wide and beautiful. In the center stood a wooden house. surrounded by flowers that swayed like they were dancing to a song only they could hear. I blinked in confusion. Whose place is this? My uncle smiled. Ours. For the family. Inside the house, there was food. Clean water. Fresh fruits. Everything we needed but never had. My mother cried so loud. Her pain finally found a place to escape. I hugged her and let my own tears fall to the ground. My uncle sat on a short wooden stool and told us. For 10 years, I worked everywhere I could, farms, factories, construction sites, saving every naira. When people hated me, I planted hope. When they insulted me, I watered the ground. I built this house secretly, waiting for the day I could give you something back. My heart almost burst. The man they called Animal was the only man who remembered us. The fruit we ate tasted sweet like victory. Travelers who passed by stopped to buy our fruits. This tastes different, they always said. My uncle would just smile and reply. They were planted with gratitude. Every night, we slept with full stomachs and peaceful hearts. I started believing again. Believing that maybe life hadn't given up on us. But happiness never stays long. One afternoon, I found a wooden box hidden under old tools in the corner of the house. It was old and dusty, but something was carved on it. If you are reading this, I am now resting in peace. My hands began to shake. Inside, there was a land deed. In my name. And a letter. A letter that made my tears burn my skin. I am not a good man with words. That is why I plant. Thank you, my sister and her son, for believing I still had a heart. Do not be afraid of mistakes. Be afraid of losing your goodness. I dropped the letter. My breath broke. My knees gave up. Because I finally understood. My uncle didn't plan to live long. Something was killing him inside. That night, I watched him from the doorway. He was coughing silently. Holding his chest. Hiding the pain. I wanted to scream. Why didn't you tell us? Why suffer alone? But he looked up and smiled at me. The same painful smile he had on the day he returned. A smile that said, "Let me go quietly." My world spun. The man everyone hated was disappearing right before my eyes. A storm was coming. Bigger than the one we escaped. And I wasn't ready. Not at all. If love could fight sickness, my uncle would have lived forever. But pain is a thief. It steals the strongest people quietly. His illness grows. After I found the letter, I started to notice everything. His hands shaking. His skin turning pale. His breathing heavy. His steps slow. He still woke up before everyone. Still took care of the farm. And still smiled like he had no worries. But at night, I could hear him crying softly into his pillow. A grown man. A man the world rejected. A man who never asked for help. He cried alone. That sound broke something inside me. Mom's hope returns. Only to break again. My mother started getting stronger. The clean air healed her lungs. The peace healed her heart. One morning, she surprised us. She cooked hot yam porridge and placed a big plate in front of my uncle. He smiled. A real smile. A smile full of childhood memories and lost happiness. "I never thought I would taste your cooking again," he whispered. My mother laughed, the first real laugh since my father died. For a moment, we were a family again. Finally. But happiness is like smoke. You can't hold it long. He was carrying a basket of yams. When he suddenly collapsed, the basket fell. The yams rolled across the ground. His body hit the earth with a heavy thud. My mother screamed his name. His lips tried to move but no sound came out. We rushed him to the village hospital. The nurse recognized him and frowned. Him, again. Judgment stabbed through us. After hours of waiting, the doctor called us in. His voice was cold and direct. It's cancer. His body is shutting down. My mother gasped. My chest burned. The doctor continued. He knew for months. He refused treatment. Why would he refuse help? If he had suffered for so long. Then I remembered the letter. I am now resting in peace. He was preparing for death. Even while planting life for us. Later that night in the ward. My uncle held my hand weakly. His voice was just a shadow. I know you're angry. But don't waste your anger on me. My tears fell on his fingers. He closed his eyes as if the tears brought comfort. I didn't want you to pity me, he whispered. I wanted you to see me. As a man who still tried. He looked at my mother and smiled softly. Sister. I wish I could see Tim get married. I wanted to dance at his wedding. But. A tiny cough. I am happy. Because he now knows. What it means to live well. My mother buried her face in the blanket. Her shoulders shook with silent sobs. My uncle raised his hand. And wiped her tears like a gentle father. Don't cry. A good life does not end in a grave. It continues in the hearts of those who remember. His hand slowly dropped. His breathing slowed. The machines beeped slower. Beep. 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 And then. Silence. Just silence. The ward stopped breathing with him. The funeral nobody attended. The next day. We held a simple burial behind the house he built. No flowers. No loud prayers. No cousins. No uncles. No aunties. Just me. Just my mother. And the wind. Whispering through the trees he planted. Those same people who mocked us. Were now too proud. To honor the man who saved our lives. When the final sand covered the coffin. My mother broke down screaming. They never knew your heart. But we did. We did. Her cries traveled through the farm. Every plant stood silent. As if nature itself mourned him. 1 year later. His farm grew bigger. Healthier. Sweeter. Travelers from many villages came to buy our fruits. They always said the same thing. These fruits taste like love. And each time, I would smile and whisper. They were planted by a good man. We built a small wooden seat beside his grave. Sometimes, I sit there at sunset. And talk to him like he never left. I tell him. I'm trying, uncle. I'm living well. Just like you taught me. The leaves above always shake softly. As if answering. I'm still here. One night, curiosity got the better of me. I went to the police station. Where my uncle's records were kept. The officer brought an old file. The truth hit me like lightning. My uncle didn't hurt that man out of drunken anger. He had jumped in front of a knife. To protect my father. During a violent fight. He took the blame. To protect my father's name. He chose to become the criminal. So my father could remain the hero. He lost his freedom. So our family could keep its pride. But when he went to prison, everyone abandoned him. Everyone except us. Now, people ask. Who is the hero of your life? I don't say my father. I don't say any famous man. I smile, and I answer. My uncle. The man everyone rejected. But who loved us with a pure and loyal heart. He left us a house. He left us a farm. He left us a future. But most of all, he left us a lesson. Never judge a person by his darkest moment. Sometimes the greatest hearts are the ones the world throws away. Never throw away people because of their past. A single mistake does not define a whole life. Kindness is never wasted. The help you give today may become the blessing that saves you tomorrow. Real family stands with you in your darkest hour. Those who stay when everyone leaves are the true ones. Do not judge people by what others say. Look at their heart, not their history. Loyalty is stronger than blood. Trust is earned through actions, not words. Pain changes people, but love can heal them again. Even broken people can build beautiful things. Heroes don't always look like heroes. Sometimes, they are the ones the world calls useless. Forgiveness can restore what pride destroys. Gratitude turns small seeds into great harvest. Never give up on a good heart. Even if the world rejects you today, your kindness will bloom in the future. Keep loving. Keep believing. Your time will come. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories. Your support helps us keep these lessons alive. Don't forget to follow for more stories.